What's up, guys? It's Isaac with the KC Brick Store. We get these in not too infrequently, these partially complete Harry Potter builds, and I've seen them floating around for a while, and I thought it might be worth taking one of those and seeing what I can do with it, see if I can turn it into a medieval build. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Before we get into that, though, there's a few things I want to point out about this build. First, you'll see that LEGO is given the impression of a roof line without putting a roof on this thing with these purple pieces up top. That might seem a little bit lazy, but it's probably to try to stay in a parts budget that designers are given for each set. So, I don't know, kind of a mixed bag there. The next part, you'll see with those windows, they've got some jumper plates on there to get those angles at a different orientation than they usually would be on a normal LEGO set. But anyway, I started out by trying to see how different kind of windows would fit in these. Sure, how I felt about the whole window thing, but I decided I would start splitting this set apart and going from there anyway. Point I've realized that I put the wall in the wrong place, so I went ahead and lifted that and shoved it back. That actually went remarkably well, thankfully, so very convenient there. I wasn't sure with the second floor if I wanted to use the original purple color scheme or wanted to go a little more classically medieval. I did want to keep the jutting kind of situation going on as a medieval building technique, so I really liked what they'd done on this set with that, with the slope pieces, the cheese wedges, kind of providing that jutting support. So ultimately I decided to go ahead and give this a shot and see how it came out. Something very important here, if you're ever going to do these timber framing pieces where you want to make the corners of the building have these tiles on them to give them a timber framed look for a medieval style build, if you're going to use more than one of those snot bricks on the corner, at least of this style, you might have some different kinds. But on this style, you've got to put two plates between them in order for those tiles to fit properly. If you ever try this yourself, you'll know what I mean. But just a warning, it's very particular on how you can get those tiles to line up with those snot pieces on corners or in the middle or whatever. I found that putting two plates between them is the appropriate height and always works out best for me in trying to do wooden framed buildings like this. For example, of the two plate height difference there, if I hadn't put those two plates in between, that tile would not fit on appropriately. It just wouldn't stick. It would stick on one stud but not on the other. It's a pain if you're not expecting it, and I don't know why it's exactly two studs. I don't know. And it seems like, I don't know, I'm not sure why LEGO's designed those pieces in that way. It might be a LEGO math thing, but it's a little bit of a pain sometimes if you're not expecting it, so just be aware. I decided to replace the top beam with a brown piece to make it fit in more with kind of a wooden look. So I had initially had this piece as being white, but I decided that would not be ideal for the color scheme all in all, so I went ahead and switched that out. It didn't matter on the sides because, you know, you're not really going to see the sides so much, but from the front it seemed like it would be important. The roofing is really nice, but it does take a number of pieces, so Yeah, if you can stockpile some of these parts, I would say do it. I'm running low on my own personal thing. As I put this on, I thought that doesn't look quite right. What if I did some of the framing up top? But then I just recessed the roof by one stud, and that looked a lot better. I still thought it could look maybe even better than that, and so I decided to go ahead and pop these purple ridge pieces onto the roof, and I think that looks nice. It could be better. It could reset a little bit more, but for what I'm going for here, I think it works, and I like it a lot. For the finishing details here, I wanted to put in some standard studs along with the smooth cobblestone tiles because I wanted to provide some positioning in places that figures or items could sit in front of the store. This torch style from the medieval market village or town square, I get those mixed up, sorry. But I think that looks really nice here. And then using pieces from that new CMF series, I used the anime figure to make this little witch girl, who I think looks nice and will fit in well for this build. That, of course, is still very bare, so that was the next project. If you have Harry Potter sets in general, they provide really great supplies as far as magical equipment to go ahead and just kind of fill out spaces like this. I think you can make really cool stuff like this. The ball is from Ninjago, one of those Ninjago spinner pieces. It's maybe a little bit out of scale size-wise, but I don't know. I think it looks neat, and I had collected a few of those just because I thought they were a fun look there. Chandelier style here with the steering wheel or the ship's wheel, I guess. That's from the Sanderson sisters cottage. It's really nice. I'll show it to you in more detail up top here in a second. But yeah, I would be concerned if I was the fire marshal of this town. Fortunately, since I'm not, I think it's okay. But yeah, I think this looks really nice. I love packing in little details like that. I put in a couple cats into the build. You'll see the other one around the front. But I think this came out looking nice. I like this project. I gave a town guard out there being scared by the first cat. So yeah, pretty happy with how this came out. I like taking little builds like this, modifying them to be more of what I want them to be. This one's a little more colorful than I usually would make, but I think it looks decent. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate your support for the Brick Store. If you want to see more of my personal content or more of my medieval stuff, go ahead and check out my channel at Brickbearded. But thanks for your time, guys. Have a good day.